Hey everyone, Pastor George here with our Theolog for today, and we are continuing our apologetics. Sorry, my phone just keeps buzzing. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. So today we're continuing our apologetics series, or apologist series rather, and today we're going to talk about someone who's probably the most important. Well, this is a toss-up between today and tomorrow about who my most important apologist to my wife has been, but he certainly is the most important person I encountered on the internet, which is like the most important medium that you can kind of engage in these days, right? That's why we're here. And this is a Catholic priest by the name of Bishop Robert Barron. But I'm an original follower, so I remember him when he was just Father Robert Barron. And he was one of the first people that I remember seeing YouTube videos constantly pop up of him answering questions or commenting on things that were happening in popular culture or movies that were coming out, or responding to certain critiques, or just discussing about certain things. And at the time he was a professor at a Catholic seminary right out of Chicago, I think, which is also his hometown. And what he does really, really well is he considers himself, like earlier when we talked about C.S. Lewis, I talked about mere Christianity Christians. That's actually what he considers himself to be. He talks a lot about Protestant theologians and Catholic theologians, and it's really good because I think he's able to kind of get rid of those internal divisions for the important mission of reaching people outside. And so I really think he's important to listen to. And if you haven't listened to any of his stuff, I'll link one of my favorite videos of his in the description. He's responding to one of Bill Maher's movies that makes fun of religious people, and I think he has a really good critique. But what I like most about him is he did a really good job of straddling the popular and academic line. So like if you're more academic thinking, you're going to find stuff in him that you really like, right? He talks about philosophy and stuff like that, but he also is very popular because he keeps these ideas at a level where everyone can understand them. And so like one of my favorite things of him is back when it was popular to say religion causes all these problems, why don't we get rid of it? Well, he would point out to people that, like Western democracy has caused a lot of problems. Like, are we going to throw out the idea of liberalism because of the French Revolution? Well, no, we're not. And that's never an argument that I had heard articulated before. I was probably around 17 or 18 at the time when I ran into it. And I've been a steady follower of his content ever since. So if you have not listened to him, I highly recommend it. He's a bishop now, and he's much more famous, and so he's on a lot more talk shows and stuff. But he had pretty humble beginnings on YouTube, and it's really been cool to see how God has used him to do apologetics work. Even though he doesn't see that as his main calling, it's just something that he kind of fell into, and he's really, really good at it. I also watched his whole series, this documentary series he did on Catholicism, which is also really good. Not enough to make me become Catholic. As you all know, I have my theological gripes with them, but I'm not going to take away anything from Robert Barron. Definitely, the guy's great. I highly recommend him, and I think that he will definitely be one of the people who, if more people imitate him, will kind of be able to recover the image of the Catholic Church. So he's great, and if you haven't seen him, check him out. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we'll talk about someone else that's been really important to me, and the only one I've ever met in person. So I actually have shaken hands with this guy and talked with him, which is pretty exciting. So I'll see you then.